Get into this. Get into this.
Hi, I'm Matt Barr from Audible Treats. Some of you might know me as Ramblin' MC. We have here Mikey. What's that showing up, man? The artist of AfroFlow, one of the probably the most inspiring rap albums, if you want to call it rap. It kind of covers many things, and Mikey will say about that I've heard in, I'd say, years. So, Mikey, why don't you tell us about this album and what it's all about, your inspiration behind it, and I'll sit back and listen.
It's AfroFlow is a labor of love for me, and it simply means flown from Africa. I was born in Ethiopia, but mankind was born in Ethiopia, the cradle of civilization. The first rappers, the griots, come from Africa. The griots with the spoken word, the drums, the oral tradition, the family history. And so, you know, we just want to take hip hop back to its roots. KRS-One, much respect. You know, Africa, Bambaataa, Zulu Nation, all acknowledge Africa's place in hip hop. And when we talk about hip hop, we skip it. So AfroFlow simply means flowing from Africa. It incorporates a lot of traditional Ethiopian rhythms, some West African rhythms as well. And it's a different approach to the genre.
Right.
So I'm Michelle, picking up on the second half of the interview with Mikey. So tell us a little bit about the choices you made for the packaging for this album and what the images and the lyrics and everything represent.
Yeah, the cover is it's an original creation by Detroit artist named Ulysses Newkirk II. And the guy you see in the front is a Nubian grave watcher. So his job is to protect the grave sites of his ancestors. And as it relates to hip hop, it's just protecting the tradition, respecting the past. And then so this picture here is Lake Tana in Bahadar, Ethiopia, which is this is the source of the Nile River, which starts in Ethiopia. And then inside, we have a booklet that basically explains the concept of AfroFlow. It has some pictures of the artists who contributed to the project, pictures of some legendary landmarks in Ethiopia.
Exactly. And this was put out on whose label?
My own label.
Tell me a little bit about your label.
Wendemé Creative, and Wendemé in Amharic simply means my brother. And that just came out of going to Ethiopia, and they would see me and say, my eyes Wendemé, Mickey Wendemé. And I just like the way it flowed. And we started in Detroit working with some students, and instead of always saying, what's up, mine, whatever, they'll say Wendemé. So we had a whole epidemic of kids running around Detroit saying Wendemé. So
let's get into a couple of the songs that are on the album. The first track is called AfroFlow, and that explains a lot. So
yeah,
why don't you go ahead and...
Well, that song to me is really less like a history lesson, because it talks about the opening lines, beats, rhymes, mics, cash, 15 minutes of fame don't last. It's like everybody wants to rap and they want to go after the big cats because they want that fame and that publicity, but that doesn't last. That's a flash in the pan. And as it gets more into it, it talks about it's a parallel between the 1885 Berlin Conference, when Europe and America got together and pretty much carved up Africa, and the way corporations have carved up hip hop, and compartmentalized it. And I'll take this, and you take this, and you take that, and then by the time you do that, you stripped it of its value and homogenized it completely. And so AfroFlow just kind of takes you through that history.
Get into this, which is, I think it might be my favorite song on the album.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's a good song to have at number 2 on the album, because it just grabs you. It makes you want to basically.
Yeah, I'm real proud of that song. That's a collaboration between myself and a cat named David Showman. Big shout out to Dave. He's a great producer. He wanted to remix it and did a great job remixing it. And it's kind of our tribute to Fela Kuti. We think is the greatest. And so it has that West African Nigerian vibe, even with the Yoruba chant in there, Obatoto, And so it's again going from East Africa to West Africa now. So east to west, west side being west side of Africa this time. And just drawing a line in the sand, putting a spin in the sand, saying, you know, I don't flow for street credibility because the streets need hope more than I need credibility. You know what I mean? I don't write for other rappers. I spit to inspire and tired. That's what matters. It's like, you know, the rap population is this big compared to the global population. And, you know, I say this many times, rappers, other artists, you are not and will never be my greatest enemy. You know, when you see children dying with AIDS, when you see sickness, disease, despair, when you see even, you know, children in Detroit going through what they go through at school, at home, in the streets, for me to take the craft and the opportunity I've been given and generate all that energy and going after another rapper, that's just not where my head's at. I respect the whole history of battling and all that, but right now I think we're in crisis mode, and my battles are not with other rappers. So, much bigger fish to fry, like the fact that people need fish to fry.
Right. And then the third song is Aleho, You Lovin' Me.
Yeah, actually, see, that's turned into a big shout out to David Showman because he helped produce that one as well. But that was a collaboration between myself, him, and an incredible artist named Camille Shuford, who, you know, representing Jamaica. She's doing a whole chat on there, and, you know, added some beautiful melodies. And it's blending hip hop with that, you know, dancehall style. We're making it relatable and danceable, and just having topics of, you know, dealing with love and relationships, but not making it so sad.
Right. Great. So when will people be able to actually get their hands on it?
They can get advanced copies at AfroFlow.com, and if they catch us at a live show, officially we're going to release it this summer.
Well, thanks for coming through.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. All right.
Be arrogant, cause every now and then I let them know I ain't having it. I'm happy with my life, the simple thing.